Hello, I'm coming to you today again to give you some things that the Lord has shared with me. I've been in prayer through this new year, through New Year's Eve and this morning, and actually the last few days. So I just want to give you some of the things that the Lord has shared with me. I got a few words from Him and a vision. So the word that I got was, first I heard one word, which is convergence, and then I heard the bride, and then I got a little more detail as I was seeking Him, and then I got a vision of the bride also. So firstly, I'll just bring out what he was saying. Basically is that in this convergence, there is a union taking place, and many things are happening in the earth, in the stars, the moon, the sun. Everything around us is converging into a time of tribulation coming upon the earth. So as the earth convulses, as these things that many people are speaking about are coming through our solar system, there is a converging of repercussions because of that, plus what Satan is doing on the earth. So in this convergence, as the earth convulses, and as these evil things are coming upon the earth in a greater measure, which they have been going on for quite some time, excuse me, but in this last time, in the time that we entered into this season, is a convergence of all these things that have been prophesied about. So in greater measure, the mega tsunami that the Lord told me about, the mega earthquake that he was telling me about, volcanoes, pestilence, control of the people, oppression, food shortages, and poverty, and all kinds of hardships are all converging into one. It's like a crescendo, it's like a symphony, and everything is changing all at once as each part joins one with the other into what is a crescendo. It is into the culmination of all things written for the last days. So with regard to convergence with the bride, I got a couple of scriptures here. And the first one I'm going to read here is Song of Solomon, chapter 8, verses 5. And it says, "Who is this that cometh up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? I raised thee up under the apple tree. There thy mother brought thee forth. There she brought thee forth, that bare thee." And then I received, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him." And then I got the bride with faith as a mustard seed. So then I've got Luke chapter 17, verse 6. "And the Lord said, If ye had faith as a grain of a mustard seed, ye might say unto this sycamore tree, Be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it should obey you." In these last days, as all these things converge, the Messiah will be calling his bride, and in the converging with his bride is union, and she will come to conformity into the image and likeness of her beloved. And all of these things that I mentioned, I'm not saying that we're going to see everything, but we will see some things. and no one knows the day or the hour when the Lord comes. So I'm going to leave that right there. But I got some other things too. Let's see, on the 21st December, I got Dirty Bomb, New York, and Swift Judgment. And so then at that point, I had a vision on that day also. And I saw the bride in her new body standing before the Lord. And he put a gold crown on her head, and then he wiped away tears coming from her eyes. And that's all I saw. As she was standing before the Lord, she was in her new body, and she had been resurrected, and the Lord was putting a crown of life on her head and wiping away her tears. It was so beautiful. So in this converging of all things written about the last days, the bride hath made herself ready, and those who are waiting on the beloved, on her beloved, to come and get her, those who have their oil lamps trimmed and full of oil, those are going to be the ones that converge in union with the Messiah. And in all of these things, I just ask you to consider anything that might be standing in your way to be a part of that bride company. These are people all from around all walks of life in all nations. And so there is a price to pay to be one of those people. And you have to submit. You have to be fully submitted to the Lord's will in your life. You have to be willing to lay down anything he tells you to. And in this next year will be difficulties for sure. That's what the Lord told me. And he said to double, to get into prayer much more than you have been, and fasting. It will be like double duty. That's what I got, double duty. In prayer and fasting. And pray for your loved ones, pray for your friends, your family, your neighbors, I don't know, your boss at work, people at work, wherever you see somebody on the road, on the side of the road, or in a store, wherever you are, whatever the Lord puts on your heart to pray for someone, then do it. Don't miss that opportunity, because it might be that that one prayer that you pray for them will be that one thing that brings them to the Lord so that they can make it and be with our eternal Father of lights, the Father of glory, and our Messiah, Yeshua. So in obedience to our beloved, it's important that you hear his voice, cultivate that intimacy with him without distraction as much as possible. And I know there are people out there that have children and they have responsibilities and their lives are very busy. But surely the Lord will give you a time in the morning or the time in the evening, even in the middle of the day sometime, where you can spend time with him alone. Because he is our beloved, our first love, and he is above everything and everyone. And so when you put him first, he will reciprocate by showing up in your prayers, and he'll answer those prayers, especially giving you faith, mountain-moving faith, which we're going to need. So I just wanted to bring you that word of convergence of the Messiah and the bride, where the bride has the faith as a mustard seed to move mountains and throw that mountain into the sea out of your way, and watch how God's going to answer your prayers. But you have to submit, and you have to obey, and you have to put him first, and he has to be king in your heart. And you have to put him on the throne of your heart above all else, even your own will and your own life. That is the price. We have to take up our cross and follow our beloved. And he is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to Father God, Yahweh, the Father of lights, but by him, through Yeshua HaMashiach. So get yourselves ready in your hearts. Try not to get distracted, and just consider that word convergence and union and in conformity with our beloved. As all these things start coming to pass more and more, you're going to see such conformity and union, all things converging at once. And it's accelerated. It's a time now, a season where we have entered into, where there will be miracles and there will be wonderful things, wondrous things happening. The Lord told me years ago that these times are coming upon us, but that he will raise that standard up against it when the enemy comes in like a flood. He's going to match that flood with his own. And as they roll out all these things, he's going to bring his bride into union with himself and mighty works and mighty power. All right, thank you for coming by and listening. Get yourselves ready. Our bridegroom cometh.